It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome to Create and Relate's Halloween Craft Special. Let's bring Frankenstein to life.
Okay there, creepy guy. Can I get on with the video?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm starting in Ibis Paint. This is a free app that I use quite regular for doing any digital drawing. They do a paid version, but as you can see at the bottom, they're really well worth the money. I'm using the free version in this video today, and I'm going to design my own Frankenstein. Feel free to use whichever digital app that you enjoy using, or alternatively you can do this by hand.
Can I tell you a joke?
Yeah, sure.
Why did Frankenstein subscribe to Stacy's craft channel?
I don't know. Why did Frankenstein subscribe to my channel?
Because he relates to things that are creatively pieced together.
That's a good one. So I'm on Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to press this plus button over in the right hand side at the bottom, and we're going to select the upload. Now, to actually import them from your library, you would select this middle one option here, select from photo library. And that just brings up any images that you've got on your tablet or your laptop, and you upload them and give them a file name from there. I've actually already uploaded mine, so I'm just going to go to the bottom option, which is open uploaded images, and that brings up all the images that you've got ready to go onto your blank canvas. I prefer to do it this way because I can actually see and visualize which ones I want to select. So I want this top left hand corner and the one next to it, and I also want those eyes and those eyes. And then if we go back, they will show up then in the blank canvas. Just going to separate those so you can see them a bit clearer. Now, to create the outline, I'm going to select this and also duplicate it. Move one of them over there. And for making this into a silhouette, all I need to do is click on Actions, go to Contour, and this page is really useful for getting rid of any parts that you do want to cut or any parts that you don't want to cut. And the way we're going to do the silhouette is basically to deselect everything but the outer line. So you can select these little boxes at the bottom and they take out elements of the cut. So I'm just going along and selecting all of those at the bottom, and then that will just give me the outline. So there's the outline for our Frankie. So I'm moving that over to one side. I'm just going to bring this one over here. Now, just to make it a bit easier for me to visualize it, I like to actually change the colour to what colour it's going to be. So I'm going to change this to green. And you do that just by pressing the basic operation at the bottom left here and changing your colour. And I'm going to select it again, go to Actions, and I'm going to this contour again. So on this one, I want to get rid of his hair. The rest of the things I've actually already cut out itself, so like the eyebrows, the scars, the nose, all that I'm quite happy with. So next we need to work on just the eyes side of it. Now, like I mentioned before, you can actually select these boxes at the bottom, like I said, but you can also actually select things on the actual image. For example, pressing the hair or pressing the eyebrows, you can put them back in or take them out, depending on what you want for the cut. You can also zoom in on this. So I need to do some work on the eyes, so obviously zooming in is a better option, and having the little box of the Frankie over to the left, you can see how that looks as you're actually doing it. So for this one, I want just the iris and the eyelid. So just the iris and the eyelid. So that's all I need for that guy. And I'm going to do exactly the same with his little buddy over here, changing him to green. And then I'm going to click on Actions and Contour. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this one. So taking his hair away and then zoom in on his eyes, and again I just want the eyelid and the iris for that one. So when we come to put this on top, you get the idea of that's how it's going to look. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm not exactly sure at this stage which eyes would look better when we start layering this up. Oh, just noticed on there we have a little green bit that we don't want to the left hand side, this bit here. Just going to deselect that as well because we don't need that cutting. So these eyes here, I'm going to move them over, and I want them in kind of a yellowy creamy colour, so I'm just going to change them over. And I'm not exactly sure how I want this layered up yet, that's why I've done both of these. So I've got the eye colour here which will go underneath the iris like that. And it just, when I start putting this together, I can see which ones I actually want to go for. So that's one option. The other option is to have this set at the back with the green on the top. So that's the reason why I've got both of them on there. I'm not going to use both, I'd like to have the option. So this top one here, we need to make some adjustments on the contour. So for these eyes I want to make a little change, and that is going to be under actions again and contour, and I want to leave everything on there apart from the iris. So they're all our designs at the minute. If we layer them up, just give you an idea of what they may look like. I think that's the option I'll end up going for, but I've got this one as well just in case I feel like that would be a better option. So before I actually go ahead and make this, I want to shrink these down to the right size that I'm after. And we want to shrink these all at the same time. Reason why I'm doing that way is because I want them to shrink at the same ratio at the same time. Because if I go in and shrink one of these, it'll then look a different size to the others, and the eyes might not be the same size when I come to layer it. So just to make things more simple for myself, there's probably another way around this, but this is the way I'm figuring it out for me. I want to shrink this to a size that I'm after each of these individual elements to be. So you just grab hold of the bottom corner and you shrink that down to whatever size that you need it. Just zoom in there so you can see a bit better. When you click on this, then it'll give you the actual sizes around each individual element, and we've still got the right size and shape for this to go on top of. So it's just a matter of shrinking it down until you get to the size that you're after for your project. Then once you're happy with the size that you've actually got for your projects, we can then go ahead and duplicate what we need for each of these. So I need to figure out how many of these I want. So currently we've got 2 different styles of Frankie, and I want to have at least 3 of each of these. So this one I'm going to duplicate 3 times. I want 3 of them and 3 of them. Let's move them over there in a minute because we want 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Stacey can't count. That's 8, is it? 7. Don't need 7, need 6. Delete one of those. Put them over there. Line these up just to make it look a bit neater on the page, really. It makes no difference on how they actually cut. And then this we need 6 of. Duplicate 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. way this works is all these yellow ones will be cut on one card, all the black on another card, and all the green on final. So we're going to go to make it, smudge that over, make, on a mat, confirm, and then we need to set up the black card, and the material size is A4 for me. I have A4 paper, and it's telling me I need to cut on 2 separate pieces of card, so I need to do 2 separate cuts for those. I'm going to do 4 on one page and then 2 on another. Sometimes you can jiggle them around for them all to fit on the same page, but I honestly don't think that's going to fit anyway. So I'll click on next. Right, let's get this stuck on the mat and get it cut. Okay, so I've got my white grip mat and 2 pieces of black card. Let's cut. I started using this one a bit more rather than the actual Cricut one, because this one actually keeps its stick for a lot longer and it's still light enough that it doesn't damage any paper. I'll put a link for these ones in my description so you can check them out, rather than using the expensive Cricut ones that don't always work out to be the best quality. You can give these a go and see what you think. And I believe the pack that I bought was this size and the big longer ones as well, so that you actually get 6 mats all together. So you get the light grip, standard, and the strong grip. I think you actually get a fabric grip as well, and then you get the longer ones as well in the same pack. So I'll put a link for those in the description, but I highly recommend them. The Cricut ones, I've not had, well, I've had them for a long time, but I wouldn't say I've used them as much as other Cricut people do. And for how often I have used them, I don't think it's warranted how quickly they've lost the stick, even though I keep them clean. Right, let's move out the Cricut. Open this baby up. There we go. Connect this to the Maker Free, so press connect. And just a nugget of information, when you put in these in, for some reason they've not done it where it's sort of perfect on each side, so you do get some kind of movement even though you try and put it in. So best place to do is push it in and then move it over to the left as much as you can, and then that keeps it on the same project as possible. I'm going to go in for cardstock. I'm going to go for a little more pressure, just because that worked on the last one, and we're going to press go. And play. And there's our first one. Happy with that? Press the eject button, and that's that one done. So I'm going to change this over and put another piece of black card on. So we're going to go ahead and cut the other 2 heads out of this one. And I want white cardstock again, with more pressure, because that cut through quite nicely. And let's press go. And then we can unload that. That's all cut. So when you're taking mainly paper but cardboard as well from the mat, best thing that I've found to do is start it off just by bending it up like this, and then you've got it here, and it'll either come off quite easy if it's a really low tack mat, but I actually prefer to flip it over, bend this back like that, and then we've just got those left. Same with these, so you don't have them curling on you. Best way to do it is fold it over like that and pull the mat away from the cardboard, and you get perfectly flat, not curled up pieces of card, so your project's not getting damaged. The only downside to this is that you need to make sure that your desk is pretty clean. If there's any loose fibres or anything like that, or a little bit of hair like what I've got there, and obviously you will get them little bits on your mat. And unfortunately, especially with paper crafts, or if you're working with fabric or any knitting or crochet, you're going to get fibres floating around a lot more than you would do just normal dust. But after you've finished doing your projects, give this a wipe down with a baby wipe, let it dry fully, and then you can put your protective sheet on the top of it. Little tip. So there's the shadows. Next we're going on to the green vinyl. It's an offcut of a piece of vinyl, and my width is about 17. So if I move these around a little bit, I will be able to fit them. Don't want it touching, but everything, if you look at it on this line of the 17, that is wide enough for me to put this on here. So the centimetres are on this side, inches are on the other side. I'm going to do on the top here because I'm going with what is on the screen. So 17, as long as I don't go past that area, I should be okay. Now, little tip with this kind of vinyl. This is cheap budget vinyl, and I've noticed when you come to cut it, it starts moving around on the backing sheet. So I'm just going to show you a little trick that I've sort of figured out over the time when I've been trying to cut and get frustrated and get annoyed with it all and all the rest of it. So lay it down. First thing to do. And I know this is a pain in the butt because you don't really want to be taking it off and putting it back on and all the rest of it, but it's the only way that I've figured out that actually stops it from moving whilst it's under the Cricut. So I'm just going to take the vinyl off and then relay it down with the brayer. So as you're doing it, you're sort of brayering down the backing paper to the mat, but you're also re-sticking this vinyl down to its backing, and if you do it good enough, it shouldn't move once it's on the Cricut. But I just found with a lot of the cheaper or budget vinyls, they do move around on the backing sheet and it does mess up a lot of projects. So if you're struggling with that, that's something you can do. And then obviously if you get any little bits that have gone over the edge here, just pull that back and cut it off because you don't want it getting jammed in your machine. It's not a big bit, it's just something easier to put to one side. Right, let's get the Cricut machine out and ready. One of the best things I ever did was putting wheels on this. I'm actually going to do a video because I did record me sticking these to it. I can also put the links of where I got the wheels from, but it's definitely a lot easier than moving this heavy thing around when you're trying to do crafting, and it's not that easy to move around, it's quite heavy. Right, so we've got that in. I am going to go on next. It's going to connect to the maker. I mean, it might still move around on the backing, but this is the best way that I've found up to now to do it. So pressing OK on that. And it's connecting. It's connected, and I'm going to change this to vinyl, and we're going to press go. Push it to the left hand side. As it draws it in, it'll be a straighter cut. There is some fine detail in this, so I'm just hoping it doesn't rip it up. But we'll see how good it goes. This is probably best done on cardboard. It's just that I've got a lot of this budget vinyl in very strange colours, but they seem to be suitable for Halloween and things like that, so that's why I'm using them. You may have a couple of casualties on the eyes. Don't know if you can see that. As it comes back out in a bit, you'll be able to see it a bit better. Something that I've noticed with the cheaper vinyl is it does tend to come off the backing, like I said, but it also, if you see, it's took some of the vinyl out, and that gets stuck on the bottom of the blade, so you really need to make sure that you keep your blade clean. cut them all out. Obviously it's peeled some of the bits up, but we're going to have a look at what we can salvage on that. A lot of it is stuff that I don't need, but we'll have a look. It's these eyes really big, these bits of eyes that I need really, so I need to find where they've gone missing. Let's unload that. So I'm just going to put this underneath the Cricut for now, and I'm just going to take out the blade, and you do this by pulling this lever when you can, and you take out the blade. Now sometimes, like on there, let's try and move the camera, if you look on there, is that, if you can see, some of the stuff is stuck on there, so it's always important just to push that out and make sure nothing's on it. But let's just see where them eyes have gone.
Why did the eyeball vanish on Halloween?
Oh, you're back, are you? Go on, why did the eyeball vanish on Halloween?
It popped out for a scare. Ha ha
That's a good
ha.
one. So first of all, as you can see, the bits that have sort of come out, so I'm going to get rid of all the bits that I don't need, and I use a little weeder tool for this, and I also like using this little bargain find. Got this from Temu. This can actually stick to the desks so it don't move about, but we're not going to do that. And what this does, it's a weeding bin, and rather than you getting it all stuck on your fingers, if you get a piece like this, you basically put it in the weeder and pull off, and then you don't end up with it all stuck to your fingers and not able to put it in the bin, or you end up with a big massive vinyl on your desk, and yeah, it gets a bit too much. So I'm just going to weed through all this, and I'll be back with you in a minute.
Do I have time to tell another joke?
Okay, go on then. I was going to play them some music, but I'll let you tell your joke first.
What's a ghost's favorite dessert?
I don't know. What's a ghost's favourite dessert?
Blueberry pie.
Cute.
Why did the witch get kicked out of the costume party?
I thought I said one joke. Go on.
Because her broomstick wasn't the only thing she was riding.
No, we don't do them types of jokes on here.
I'm truly sorry. I'll be good, I promise. One more, please.
One more. If it's not right, I'll be putting music on.
Fine with me. What do coffins and condoms have in common?
Okay, so I seem to have got most of that out. I have left the eyes as much as possible alone because I need to figure out which bit I need to actually take out. There's one of the eyes. See, sometimes they just move around on the paper and you can't see them, so I'm just going to put that eye in his mouth so it just sticks to the vinyl. Yeah, there's one iris miss. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to put that in his mouth with the other one, just so we don't lose it. I'm going to put it on the mat so it doesn't move about for me. And I'm just going to take this outer layer, use this one because it's the closest one to me. And we don't need his eyebrow. I want his eyes to stay there for the time being. Stay there, eye. And this is just so I know which bits I need and don't need, because I didn't even make a reference to myself as I was doing it. Let's get this lined up. First one I might mess up because it's got no backing on it, and I want to make sure that it goes in the right place. The good thing about this vinyl is it's quite forgiving. You can re-peel it back up if you do make a wrong placement. It doesn't stick straight away until you've braided it down. And I just want to make sure I've got the right placement for everything without it losing too much tacky. Might be better to line it up with the ears, because that's the bit that seems to be messing up. Does that work? It's not perfect to lay down. It can take a bit longer doing this. Right. But we've got an idea of what it's sort of going to be looking like. Right, so from that I need the eyelids for sure, and I also need the iris, which is a colour. So I think what I'm best off doing is cutting the eyes off the next one, off the next sheet, and then we'll stick them on and we'll come back to that afterwards. So I'm just going to put this to one side, and I'm going to get the yellow set up for the inside of the eyes. So I've got two pieces of cardy, sort of paper card. I'm going to use the marks along here to make sure I've got the same width on there. So we've got that on 13 or below. And just because this one's not that sticky, I'm going to make sure I've got a good contact all the way around, and hopefully this yellow will look okay for Frankie. And then we're going to press next on this one, and it's connecting to the maker when I turn it on. Gonna connect. And we're cutting this out of, I'd say, let's go light cardstock with less pressure. Okay, that's ready. Let's press go. Quite nicely. Let's unload that. So I'm just going to take the main bit off flat like this, just because it's scrap. I don't really need to worry about it curling. And that way it's all stuck to your card, and if you pull it off like that, I'll show you what happens. You see? That curls, whereas if you pulled it off from the back, that wouldn't happen. Right, let's bring our Frankie over from the project. So this is our Frankie, to the side that we're sort of getting ready now. I'm just going to take 2 lots of these out, because I'm not sure which bits I need right now. I'm just going to keep these separate. I'm going to put one together and then I will do the rest all in one go. Pulled that off, his eyes are stuck to this. Let's give him his eyes back. Where did you come from? One there. Because until I know what I need, I don't want to get rid of any of these bits. Right, Frankie baby, what do we need? Because I can't remember. That's the bit I need, I think. Yep, that, and then the iris. That'll give me the dot, and then we need the lid. Right, because this was made out of cardboard, obviously I need to put some glue on the back of that. Glue does dry clear, but I'm happier to take off any bits as we go. There we go. We finally got a Frankie. Oh, I hope he's worth the effort. Right, let's make another one. These are the things that I should have done off camera. But I thought I'd take you along for the ride. So my idea is if you can take it off like that, I've got a better chance of positioning it whilst the backing is still on. I'm just going to take off a small bit, just bend it back, because when I've got the ears lined up I know that's in the right place and I can stick the headpiece down. So let's get the ears lined up first. Once they're lined up and I'm happy with the position, I can then stick this top bit down. Keep it on some shaking everywhere. There we go. And we've got an idea of where things need to be. And it's just a matter of peeling off the back and hoping for the best. That's a little bit easier for me, staying out any wrinkles. I think he actually looks good without the green lid. I think it looks good like that, but this is the design I'm gone for, so that's what I'm going to be doing. We've got two different designs. I'm going to take these off the mat now and then I'm going to braille them down. So bending my card, not my project. going to turn this to the side and take the top of his head off. That sounds painful. So again, I'm getting the ears lined up. That's the bit that'll look weird if it's not in the right place. And try and get the rest of it lined up. Place the top bit down. And let it fall into place. Frankie's just fell off my desk. The ones that we've already just done. Now we want 2 eyes. You could do all this out of cardboard or paper or vinyl, whatever. I just put the cardboard backing on because I think it's more of a stable thing to use. And you can use the same designs that you've made yourself. Anything else you want to decorate your house with during the Halloween season, throw out your Halloween decorations. And there's number 3. Gonna have to be a Frankie with a wonky eye, this one. There we go. That's the last one. So we've got all our Frankies done. Quite pleased with how they've turned out. Apart from this dude, who looks a bit bog-eyed. But I think once they're all together in a project, it may not be that much of a problem. But, you know, at least we've got 5 decent ones. I probably only need the 5 anyway, so there's those. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye!
They're both full of stiffs.
Get the monster!